I just wanted to weigh in on the current event that took place just a couple days ago in Orlando, Florida. Most of you that have been watching the news, the local and the national news, as it were, you probably are already aware of the tragedy that has taken place in this country, again, at the hands of a person that was mentally deranged, for lack of a better term, mentally disturbed maybe. But on Sunday, an individual, they say his name is Mateen. He's supposedly of some Arab or Middle Eastern descent, 29 years old. It is alleged that he saw two gay individuals kissing one another a while back, and he was incensed by this. So several days, if not a week later, he allegedly, armed with a explosive device, which has not been determined to this particular date that I know of, but he had a automatic weapon, rifle, and he went to a club called Pulse, which is a LGBT club. And there was some sort of parade going on that day, and he took it upon himself, in his weakness, if you will, and he walked into the club and he began to execute, yes, I do mean execute, people at random. The record toll as of this date that I'm aware of is 53 injured, if not more by now, and 50 individuals are dead. This man killed 50 people at one time in a matter of minutes. From my understanding, after the police and SWAT arrived, the man is now deceased, that they killed him. But it is amazing how so many people blame automatic weapons, high-powered rifles, semi-automatic weapons, and you have heard Hillary Clinton jump on this bandwagon after this horrific incident took place by saying that, they have to push for gun reform. Another talking point again, gun reform. But ladies and gentlemen, we don't need gun reform. Look at this incident as we look at previous incidents at the church that took place some years ago, when the gentleman walked into the church and began to shoot individuals or people again. And look at Columbine. And there's a plethora of incidents that have taken place over the past decade or so. It's not a gun that kills another individual. It is the person behind the gun, and it is the mind that guides that individual to commit an act as atrocious as this. So we need to stop trying to make new rules, trying to disarm people that are law-abiding citizens who indeed do carry firearms for their own protection and or for sport or collection reasons. This is what America is about. It is about securing our freedoms. Now, let's understand this on that same note. Just because, and it's a tragedy what took place, and I'm sure there are millions of us right now, along with myself, that's praying for that community, the LGBT community. There's millions praying. But with that said, let's understand this also. This is the world in which we live, ladies and gentlemen. We live in a very dangerous world. We can't wish it to be something other than what it is. If it were, then we would not be burying our loved ones. Someone lost a father, a brother, a nephew, a son, or a daughter in this incident that took place in Orlando. And it's terrible. It is terrible that human life is not valuable enough to some individuals. Howbeit, it doesn't change the fact that this is who walks among us every day. And we can't point fingers and say, oh, this is a terrorist incident. If it were a terrorist, you're telling me and you're telling the world, in the United States, we have approximately over 35 million people in the United States alone. I don't know what the current census is, but it's about that many people, 35 million. And you have one remote incident like this. We want to say it's a terrorist act. Out of all of the people that's in America, by God, there has to be more terrorists than just that one individual. I believe that this was a targeted situation. The individual thought it out and they acted upon it. Now, something indeed was wrong with him. That type of hatred that you can harbor for another human being based on their ethnicity, their religious beliefs, or their sexual preferences. It's wrong. I have my feelings about the LGBT community, but my feelings about that has absolutely nothing to do with my humanitarian feeling. Those were precious lives. Those are human beings. We should love everyone, irrespective of what they choose to live in accordance to their own decisions, their lifestyle. That has nothing to do with anyone else but them and their partners, if that's what they chose to do. And at the very least, it does not warrant a death sentence. Now we have 50 people to bury this country, the families. 50 individuals lost their lives unnecessarily, all because someone was disturbed and had some very personal, deep-rooted issues with someone else because they were not like them, or they didn't live a life according to them and their standards. Something's wrong with that. But I want to tell you something, and I want to encourage those that are out there that's listening to this video, that have taken the time to listen to this video. You have to make sure that you step up to the cause. The cause being the custodian of your own life and that of your families. As I said or forestated, we live in some very terrible times, some treacherous times. That's why we have police departments and sheriff departments and highway patrolmen and FBI and so on and so forth, because of crime. The scripture says that, the law was not made for a righteous man. It's made for people who will break the law. So what I'm saying in essence is that there are many people, many millions and hundreds of millions of people that will follow the law. But there is a percentile that will not. And this individual was one of those people. So with that, I want to say you need to arm yourself. I'm not saying go out here like you're in the OK Corral. I'm not saying go on some sort of vigilante justice. I'm against that. You should be against that. But what I am saying, use the gray matter that's in all of our heads, and that common sense, that sense of common sense, and that wisdom even that you have between your ears, and say, I'm not going to allow myself or my loved ones or my friends to go through this if I can help it. It might not be normal. It might not be common for you, but you need to invest in some personal training. And when I say personal training, I'm talking about self-defense training with a firearm. Go to your local sheriff department, your gun range, and see if you can get you some training so that you can be state qualified, so that you can get you a certificate of protection, if you will, a CDL, not CDL, that's wrong. Um, a gun permit is what I'm saying, and I have one. So you want to make sure that you carry. I'm a firm believer. As many years as I have been in the martial arts, time and chance happens to every man, according to the Bible, just like the fish caught in the evil net. You never know when something is going to happen. You never know when your time will be, because in this particular situation that occurred a couple days ago, it was those individuals' time. Unfortunately, they lost their lives to a lunatic, to a crazy man. Something was wrong. But can you just fathom, and it's been said before, can you just fathom, can you imagine what would have been the outcome had you had 4 or 5 individuals that had a permit to carry a firearm and they had their weapon with them? So what I'm saying again, ladies and gentlemen, it's not about taking away guns from the citizens, making us more helpless, because police are responders after the crime has taken place. Police can't stop you from being harmed. They cannot stop you from being murdered in the streets. All they can do is come back and write the report and clean up. That's their job. So it behooves each and every one of us to take some serious thought to this issue. And this should be a wake-up call for many of us to take care of ourselves a little bit better, to prepare for war in time of peace. So go out, do yourself, do your family a favor, and buy some protection. Learn the laws and learn how to use it, and you be safe. Again, this is Brother Teacher. My prayers are with all of the individuals, all of the families that have lost someone as a result of the Orlando, Florida tragedy. I love you. Yahweh love you. Be encouraged. Be strong. Be safe. I'll see you next time. So long.